Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Manoj Singh Rana with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Pradhan Mantri Digital Health Mission tomorrow. Prime Minister discusses Cyclone Gulab situation with Chief Ministers of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha and assures all possible help. Mr. Modi calls upon people to celebrate river festivals at least once a year, says in his Mann Ki Baat program, economic cleanliness ensures the right of poor and eases their life. Prime Minister asks people to buy Khadi products to mark Gandhi Jayanti with great fervour, urges them to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour during this festive season. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says India has an export target of $2 trillion by 2030 and banks will have to play a pivotal part in achieving it. Home Minister Amit Shah says incidence of left-wing extremism drops by 23%, chairs review meeting on left-wing extremism in New Delhi. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath expands his Council of Ministers. 15 new ministers take oath in Punjab Chief Minister's new cabinet. Union Minister Anurag Thakur announces month-long nationwide Clean India drive from 1st of October. Polling underway in Germany to elect the new Chancellor. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 2 wickets at Abu Dhabi. Second match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians underway in Dubai. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Pradhan Mantri Digital Health Mission PMDHM through video conferencing tomorrow. The pilot project of National Digital Health Mission had been announced by the Prime Minister from the ramparts of the Red Fort on the 15th of August last year. Currently, PMDHM is being implemented in pilot phase in 6 union territories. The nationwide rollout of PMDHM coincides with the National Health Authority celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. PMDHM will enable access and exchange of longitudinal health records of citizens with their consent. The key components of PMDHM include a health ID for every citizen that will also work as their health account to which personal health records can be linked and viewed with the help of a mobile application. The landfall process of Cyclone Gulab that commenced at around 6 p.m. today over the north coastal Andhra Pradesh and adjoining south coastal Odisha will continue until 9 to 9:30 p.m. tonight. Under the impact of the cyclone, moderate wind and rainfall are being experienced in some South Odisha districts. A report.
Ahead of the landfall today, while Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured Odisha Chief Minister Navin Patnaik of all possible support in overcoming the adversity, Chief Minister Mr. Patnaik had reviewed the cyclone preparedness in about 7 districts of South Odisha. Accordingly, as a precautionary measure, the local administration of South Odisha district like Gajapati, Ganjam and Raigada have evacuated people from areas likely to be affected by landslides and inundation. Preemptive measures have also been taken in view of the possible flash flood in some South Odisha rivers like Roshikurlia. NDRF and ODRAF teams have been deployed across 7 districts to stand by the people for rescue and relief operations. Meanwhile, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has appealed to the people of the cyclone-affected districts to abide by the directives of the local administration. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today spoke to Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy and Odisha Chief Minister Navin Patnaik and discussed with them the Cyclone Gulab situation. He took stock of the situation arising ahead of the cyclone. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he assured them all possible support from the centre. Prime Minister prayed for everyone's safety and well-being.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extolled the virtues of river conservation and greeted the country on World Rivers Day today. Addressing the nation in his Man Ki Baat program on All India Radio, the Prime Minister said World Rivers Day is in sync with traditions that the people of the country have been following for centuries. He highlighted on the very banks of these rivers, numerous festivals, occasions and functions are held by people. With the advent of the month of Magh, people perform Kalpavas on the banks of the river Ganga or other rivers for an entire month.
स्नान करते समय एक श्लोक बोलने की परंपरा रही है। गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जले अस्मिन सन्निधि कुरु। पहले हमारे घरों में परिवार के बड़े ये श्लोक बच्चों को याद करवाते थे और इससे हमारे देश में नदियों को लेकर आस्था भी पैदा होती थी। विशाल भारत का एक मानचित्र मन में अंकित हो जाता था। नदियों के प्रति जुड़ाव बनता था। जिस नदी को माँ के रूप में हम जानते हैं, देखते हैं, जीते हैं, उस नदी के प्रति एक आस्था का भाव पैदा होता था।
The Prime Minister said it is the responsibility of everyone to ensure that rivers do not get polluted. He gave the example of Gujarat where Jal Jilani Ekadashi is celebrated during the rains. He said Jal Jilani is similar to catch the rain as each and every drop of rain is collected. Mr. Modi said Chhath festival is also celebrated on similar lines.
मुझे उम्मीद है कि छठ पूजा को देखते हुए नदियों के किनारे घाटों की सफाई और मरम्मत की तैयारी शुरू कर दी गई होगी। हम नदियों की सफाई और उन्हें प्रदूषण से मुक्त करने का काम सबके प्रयास और सबके सहयोग से कर ही सकते हैं। नमामि गंगे मिशन भी आज आगे बढ़ रहा है, तो इसमें सभी लोगों के प्रयास एक प्रकार से जन जागृति, जन आंदोलन, उसकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है।
The Prime Minister also said that river festivals must be held at least once a year on the banks of the rivers. He mentioned how the Nag Nadi river that flows through Vellore and Tiruvannamalai districts of Tamil Nadu had dried up and the women folk of the region took up cudgels to rejuvenate the river. Canals were dug up through public participation and check dams and recharge wells were built. On cleanliness, Prime Minister Modi said it was Mahatma Gandhi who turned cleanliness into a mass movement. Mr. Modi spoke about Man Ki Baat's listener Ramesh Patel, who wrote to him saying the nation should take the resolve of economic cleanliness as well to mark the Amrit Mahotsav. Mr. Modi said due to the Jan Dhan scheme, rightful money of the poor is getting credited directly into their accounts.
आर्थिक स्वच्छता गरीबों को अधिकार सुनिश्चित करती है, उनका जीवन आसान बनाती है। जनधन खातों को लेकर देश ने जो अभियान शुरू किया, इसकी वजह से आज गरीबों को उनके हक का पैसा सीधा उनके खाते में जा रहा है, जिसके कारण भ्रष्टाचार जैसी रुकावटों में बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में कमी आई है। आर्थिक स्वच्छता में टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत मदद कर सकती है। हमारे लिए खुशी की बात है, आज गांव देहात में भी फिनटेक यूपीआई से डिजिटल लेन देन करने की दिशा में सामान्य मानवी भी जुड़ रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi expressed satisfaction that as a nation is celebrating the Amrit Mahotsav of independence, the young generation is giving Khadi the place of pride that it had during the freedom struggle. Production and demand of Khadi and handloom has increased multiple times. He asked people to buy Khadi products to mark Gandhi Jayanti on this 2nd of October with great fervour.
2 अक्टूबर पूज्य बापू की जन्म जयंती पर हम सब फिर से एक बार एक नया रिकॉर्ड बनाएं। आप अपने शहर में जहां भी खादी बिकती हो, हैंडलूम बिकता हो, हैंडीक्राफ्ट बिकता हो, और दिवाली का त्योहार सामने है, त्योहारों के मौसम के लिए खादी, हैंडलूम, कुटीर उद्योग से जुड़ी आपकी हर खरीदारी वोकल फॉर लोकल इस अभियान को मजबूत करने वाली हो, पुराने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने वाली हो।
The Prime Minister said that the 2nd of October also marks the birth anniversary of Lal Bahadur Shastri. He said this day also teaches about those who attempt new experiments in agriculture. The Prime Minister asked the people to follow necessary protocols during the upcoming festive season and keep in mind that the fight against COVID is not yet won. He reminded that every Indian has an important role in this fight against COVID-19 and urged people to get the vaccine shots when their turn comes. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
Welcome back. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today said that India has an export target of $2 trillion by 2030 and said that the banks will have to play a pivotal part in achieving the same. Speaking at the 74th Annual General Meeting of the Indian Banking Association in Mumbai today, Ms. Sitharaman said India aims to achieve a target export of $2 trillion by 2030, of which $1 trillion is merchandise export and $1 trillion is services export. She added that the target cannot be achieved unless banks are going to be nimble with sound understanding of various businesses and sectors. Emphasizing on the need of adapting new technology in banking, the finance minister said the long-term future of Indian banking is going to be largely driven by digitized processes.
I would on this day request the IBA to access the digitized or the mapping of every district. It's not beyond you. I'm sure your SLBCs will be able to provide this to you. Get a digitized mapping of the branch and their location by district.
Home Minister Amit Shah today chaired a review meeting on the left-wing extremism in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Shah said, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the government is committed to the development of left-wing extremism affected states. He said it is a matter of happiness to share that there has been a lot of success due to the joint efforts of the centre and the states in cracking down on left-wing extremism. He said that the incidents of left-wing extremism have come down by 23% and the number of deaths has also come down by 21%. Home Minister said the government has been fighting a battle on two fronts for many years without paying attention to the political parties. He said that the root cause of dissatisfaction is that development has not reached there in the last 6 decades. He said it is very essential to ensure accessibility to fast-paced development so that common and innocent people do not join the extremists.
In Uttar Pradesh, the Council of Ministers, headed by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, was expanded today. 7 new faces, including Jitin Prasad, were inducted in the government. Governor Anandiben Patel administered the oath of office in secrecy to them at the Raj Bhavan in Lucknow. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and several members of the cabinet were present on the occasion. The state government has now 60 ministers, including 24 cabinet ministers, 9 ministers of state independent charge, and 27 ministers of state at present. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Those who were administered oath at Raj Bhavan today are Jitin Prasad, Chhatrapal Gangwar, Paltu Ram, Dr. Sangeeta Balwant, Sanjeev Kumar, Dinesh Khatik and Dharamveer Singh. Jitin Prasad was sworn in as cabinet minister. Rest of the 6 were sworn in as minister of state. As less than 6 months are left to go for assembly poll in state, this expansion of cabinet is said to be a strategy before upcoming election next year. To equate social balance and maintain an image of popular government, all groups of society, including OBC, SC and downtrodden, have been given weightage and preference in the cabinet. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Punjab, 15 Congress MLAs took oath as ministers in Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi's new cabinet today. Governor Banwari Lal Purohit administered them the oath of office in secrecy at the Punjab Raj Bhavan in Chandigarh. Deputy Chief Minister Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa and O.P. Soni were sworn in last week with the Chief Minister. Our correspondent reports that Brahma Mohindra was the first one to take oath, followed by Mantri Badal. Among those sworn in are 7 new faces.
Under the nationwide vaccination drive, more than 85 crore 60 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. The Health Minister said over 28,000 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate currently stands at 97.77%. India is all set to achieve the 100 crore COVID-19 vaccination mark. In a tweet, MyGov India said, to celebrate the 100 crore vaccination mark, it has invited people to design an innovative and visually striking logo or mascot. The last date of the contest is 10th of October this year. The winner of the selected logo will win a cash prize of 25,000 rupees.
The government will launch a month-long nationwide Clean India drive to clean waste, mainly single-use plastic, from the 1st of October to the 31st of October this year. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur has said that it is our resolve to create a plastic-free India, an India of Gandhiji's dreams, and as per the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in which Swachhata occupies the topmost priority. The minister urged everybody to join the drive with fervour and help achieve the goal of Sankalp Se Siddhi. He said the drive aims to propagate the mantra of Clean India, Safe India.
I invite everyone, self-help groups, associations, clubs, various individuals and institutions to please come forward and join the Clean India campaign. It is going to be the world's largest campaign. We are going to collect the plastic waste and other waste. More than 75 lakh kilo waste will be collected from 1st of October to 31st of October. And I'm sure we are going to make a record and also going to clean the country.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the 26th of September during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. Every day, AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle.
In today's episode, we remember one of the towering figures of India's Renaissance in the 19th century, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who was born on this day in 1820. Through his multiple contributions to people and society, Ishwar Chandra left an indelible mark in the annals of Indian history.
He was a great social reformer, anti-colonial activist and philanthropist. A great educator and author, Vidyasagar is considered as the father of Bengali prose. He significantly rationalized, simplified and modernized the Bengali alphabet using woodcut type.
Born at Birshingho village, now a part of Midnipur district, Vidyasagar was a brilliant student from childhood. His quest for knowledge was so intense that he used to study under a street light, as it was not possible for his family to afford a gas lamp at home. He cleared all the examinations with excellence and in quick succession.
In 1839, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar cleared the Sanskrit law examination and joined Fort William College of Kolkata as head of the Sanskrit department. Later he became principal of the same college. He excelled so well in his undergraduate studies of Sanskrit and philosophy that his college gave him the honorific title Vidyasagar, Ocean of Knowledge.
Vidyasagar championed the upliftment of the status of women, especially widows in Bengal. He was particularly moved by the plight of child widows who were often ill-treated and tortured. Vidyasagar also fought against the system of polygamy. Despite strong opposition of the then society, he ran a revolutionary agitation for women's education and rights to remarriage for leading a normal life.
He petitioned the Legislative Council for Hindu widow remarriage despite severe opposition and a counter-application by Dharma Sabha, which had nearly 4 times as many signatures. Finally, Lord Dalhousie personally finalized the bill and Hindu Widow Remarriage Act 1856 was passed.
He was made the Special Inspector of Schools in 1855. He travelled around Bengal and visited schools. During his travels, he witnessed the pathetic conditions in which people lived. Superstitions and blind faith were prevalent due to lack of education. This motivated him to establish schools all over Bengal to spread the light of education. Within 2 months, he arranged for 20 schools to be built. In order to encourage gender equality, he also established 30 schools exclusively for girls.
তোমার কাছে সবাই নিলাম জীবন গড়ার দীক্ষা বিদ্যার সাগর তুমি কান্ডারি ঈশ্বর।
In 1873, Vidyasagar came to Karmatar, a sleepy hamlet now in Jamtara district of Jharkhand, and spent more than 18 years of his life there. He set up a girls' school and a night school for adults on the premises of his house, which he called Nandan Kanan. He also opened a free homeopathy clinic to provide some medical care to these unprivileged tribal people.
Nandan Kanan was later sold. However, the Bengali Association in Bihar in 1974 purchased it from money collected by house-to-house contributions of 1 rupee each. The girls' school has been restarted, named after Vidyasagar. The free homeopathic clinic is still serving the local population. The house of Vidyasagar has been maintained in its original shape.
The government of Jharkhand on 26 September 2019 named Karmatar block as Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar block as a mark of respect on the birth anniversary of the great social reformer. Indian Post issued stamps featuring Vidyasagar in 1970 and 1998.
The great social reformer Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar passed away in Kolkata on the 29th of July, 1891. In the words of one of the greatest Bengali poets, Michael Madhusudan Datta, Vidyasagar has the genius and wisdom of an ancient sage, the energy of an Englishman, and the heart of a Bengali mother. We salute this great Indian.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. One lucky participant will be selected as a winner and will be awarded an e-certificate and a token prize.
In the program Spotlight, we are broadcasting a special series, Seva aur Samarpan 20 Saal Susashan Ke. The theme tonight is Northeast as Ashta Lakshmi. It showcases Prime Minister Narendra Modi's resolve and dedication towards the development of Northeast region. This special program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. A.K. Varshni of RML Hospital, Delhi, will be with us today to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m.
In Germany, citizens were heading to the polls today to vote in a closely fought federal election that will, in the coming days or weeks, result in a new chancellor at the helm of the country. 67-year-old Chancellor Angela Merkel, after almost 16 years in the top job, will step down once it becomes clear who her successor will be. Polling predictions on Saturday suggested the race was too close to call, with the centre-left Social Democrats, SPD, holding a small but narrowing lead over Merkel's party, the centre-right Christian Democratic Union, CDU. Candidates who are in the fray to replace Merkel are Armin Laschet, a long-time ally of Merkel and the leader of the CDU since January. Olaf Scholz, leader of the left-leaning SPD, and the Greens' Annalena Baerbock. Environmental concerns and economic worries have emerged as key issues in campaigning. Union Information and Broadcasting and Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, who is on a 2-day visit to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, inspected Zojila and Red Mode Tunnel projects today. The minister expressed satisfaction on the progress of the work. He said Zojila Tunnel is significant with regard to national security, development and tourism for J&K and Ladakh Union Territories.
In IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings defeated Kolkata Knight Riders by 2 wickets at Abu Dhabi this evening. CSK achieved the target of 172 runs in stipulated 20 overs after losing 8 wickets. Choosing to bat first after winning the toss, KKR scored 171 for the loss of 6 wickets in stipulated 20 overs. In the second match of the day underway in Dubai, Royal Challengers Bangalore were 139 for 3 in 17 overs against Mumbai Indians when reports last came in. Mumbai Indians won the toss and elected to field. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Pradhan Mantri Digital Health Mission tomorrow. Prime Minister discusses Cyclone Gulab situation with Chief Ministers of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha and assures all possible help. Mr. Modi calls upon people to celebrate river festivals at least once a year, says in his Mann Ki Baat program, economic cleanliness ensures the right of poor and eases their life. Prime Minister asks people to buy Khadi products to mark Gandhi Jayanti with great fervour, urges them to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour during this festive season. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says India has an export target of $2 trillion by 2030 and banks will have to play pivotal part in achieving it. Home Minister Amit Shah says incidence of left-wing extremism drops by 23%, chairs review meeting on left-wing extremism in New Delhi. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath expands his Council of Ministers. 15 new ministers take oath in Punjab Chief Minister's new cabinet. Union Minister Anurag Thakur announces month-long nationwide Clean India drive from 1st of October. Polling underway in Germany to elect the new Chancellor. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 2 wickets at Abu Dhabi. Second match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians underway in Dubai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.